Your lawn, would you recommend mixing 50/50 sand and topsoil for actual nutritional value? So there's a few things going on here. We have a texture analysis of sand, clay, silt. We have organic matter percentage, and then we have nutrients, specifically the macronutrients, NPK, but we could also talk about the micros as well. So first of all, texture analysis, basically the pyramid. If you're in Texas like me and you have clay, then it will be different than what you do if you're in South Carolina or Florida. And it'll be also a little bit different on different grass types, but there are overlaps. Bermuda grass prefers sandy loam. And so to get to sandy loam from where we're at with the Texas clay, what you have as, like fill dirt or whatever on your lawn, you basically need to add sand to that. What type of sand? We can look into USGA guidelines. I have a blog post on that. This is too short to get into that. So generally what you will do is add masonry sand to your clay, and that will get you closer to sandy loam, which Bermuda prefers. Next up is the organic matter. I have a longer video discussing this, discussing leveling. Feel free to check it out where I draw on a sheet the idea behind compost and sand leveling. Some people like to mix compost with their sand and level with that. The problem is the compost breaks down over time, which means you have to level again. You'll always have to level again, but you'll have to level again more frequently and generally use more sand. So the idea is you break the idea of organic matter and sand into two different processes. So first level with sand only to get your lawn relatively smooth. You're not looking for flat, but you're looking for it to not have so much jagged bumps where you're scalping. Once you're done leveling and you've recovered, which takes 2 weeks on a healthy lawn, 6 weeks on an unhealthy lawn, you can then go back and do the next step, which is adding organic matter. So filtered compost is a good route to go. If you have lots of money, you would go with peat moss. And then when that starts to decompose, you're not going to have bumps because it's all going to decompose relative. So it's all going to go down 1/8 of an inch or whatever, depending on how much you spread. So organic matter is great, very important. I just don't like the idea of mixing it. If you're a professional, like a company providing this as a service, then yeah, you can visit the house less times by just mixing the two together. But if you're DIY and you have the time to do one level now and a top dress later, that's the route to go. And the third part of my answer to this question is nutrients. And you don't really need nutrients from your top dressing. You can get nutrients from your fertilizers. So do your soil test from your local extension office. In North Carolina, I think it's free. In Texas, I think it's $12. If you're in Texas, I can probably guess your soil analysis if you haven't applied anything on like 90% confidence. Apply your balanced once a year. Apply nitrogen every other month. Spray some sort of micro nutrient like Nutrisolve, or ideally one without calcium, because if you're in Texas, you probably have high calcium. And then there you go. There's your nutrients. So a little bit complicated. Hope I helped.